Greetings. This is the third installment on the GoFundMe site. I wanted to speak to you today about this extraordinary system that I'm utilizing, that King Alphonse Cyprius X used in 1253 AD, that had ordered his scribes, Sephardic scribes, and his Arabic astronomers together a set of charts together to use in the city of Toledo, Spain. For that purpose, they were called Toletan tablets. They're also known as Alphonsine tables. These are based on 7 planets. We need to cover this because we're not talking about charts where you do someone's background based on star charts. We're talking about the 7 Hebrew planets, or Arabic planets, or Aramaic planets. They use 7, not because it's a holy number, but because this is the consistency of phi, 1.618. Phi is really 1.61803398887, and it repeats itself. Phi is known as the golden mean. It is also known as it was known by Van Gogh, who utilized phi as the golden mean. It represents infinity, a perfect circle, a single continuum. Now 1.618, the shortened version, which we use, this is the mathematical constant. It's not 1.62, it's 1.618. So if you were to devise a chart between 1 and 2, it'd be 1.618, almost, just barely starting into 1.62. Phi, thus, on the body, in order to explain the dynamics of this, on the body, a single extension of your finger, if you take the bone and they take the skin off of it, times that times 1.618, it gives you the next size of the next bone. And consistently through the body, if the body is standing in what the old charts show, a man standing with his arms out, splayed out, his legs are splayed, representing the pentagram. The base of the pentagram times 1.618 gives you one of the arms. Phi is shown all through the body. From the top of the nose to the crown of the head is 1.618 times greater than the distance between the top of the nose down to the bottom of the nose. This distance times 1.618 gives you this distance here. It's in the forearm, it's in the body. Planetary wise, that would be microcosm, phi in a microcosmic level. Macrocosmically, that consistency, phi, also known as the Fibonacci sequence, that consistency in a planetary volume is the distance of Mercury to the face of the sun times 1.618 gives you the distance between Mercury and Venus. Venus to Mercury times 1.618 gives the distance between Venus and Earth. Venus and Earth times 1.618 gives the distance between Earth and Mars. The distance between Earth and Mars times 1.618 gives you the distance to Jupiter. Kepler was looking at this as a mathematician. Kepler's responsible for a lot. That's not to be confused with the Kuiper belt, which is further out, 50 astronomical units out. Phi breaks down at Saturn. So the Hebrews used, and the Aramaics used, 7 planets. This is where the consistency of phi is at. The distance between Jupiter and Saturn times 1.618 should yield you the distance to another planet, or we find an asteroid belt there. A place full of rocks all around, like a planet exploded. So the mathematicians knew, oh, there's something supposed to be there. The reason why this lettering system uses 7 letters is because of that golden mean, that perfection in number. That's where a number comes on a zigzag line up and down, and it comes back down into a flat line and goes all the way around on itself and comes back around anode to its anode end. In other words, it has 2 apexes, beginning and end, a single continuum, but it comes back around on itself like a bubble. Van Gogh used it in his buildings and in paintings. He used the perfection of number, the golden mean. He actually took a pentagram and used the base and one of the arms to check all of his paintings. Phi has been used by many mathematicians. Pythagorean geometry utilizes the consistencies of phi, but they're built into spheres. They teach you numbers and spheres. This is very relevant to this language because here, the Toletan or Alphonsine tables, you will write out the alphabet in sevens, Aleph through Zayin, and then forward, on and on and on, 22 lines down. And then we ran the names of the creator through those gates. We know what those names are, is what I've explained earlier. We know what each one of those emanations are, why the name of the creator is on each one. But when you run those names through a Toletan chart, Alphonsine table, you're looking at not only what's behind each emanation, but you will find the reason why his name is written on those. That's never been published. And let me tell you, the dark side has used every mode to keep this from being published, to come at you in every direction, with every type of thing to keep you from publishing it, to keep me from publishing it. If you think a king didn't publish it during the time of Thomas Torquemada, he would have been burned at the stake for knowing these things behind these names. He didn't publish it. In fact, no one even spoke about what he found. We don't know what he saw. We only see a doctor 350 years later, Henry Cornelius Agrippa, writing about what is capable of being found, and he doesn't explain what you find either. Not until you do the work. You put in the work. Do you see these things? So, my publication, for a person who had lost his faith, as I did, I not only had it proved to me, but I mean right in the face, solid proof that you can actually tangibly touch and see. Proof of the Creator, proof of Gehenna, proof of the delineation and definition of creation is accessible through this system. I intend to publish it. I'm Nikesh, the deceiver, the name of that entity that beguiled Kava, Eve, in the Garden of Eden. Did he say you couldn't eat from all the trees in the garden? No, we can eat from the trees in the garden, just not the tree in the center. Oh, because you will surely die. So what they translate into the serpent, the deceiver, his real name is Nikesh. The primary energy contributor to the vessel is the first letter. The middle letters, while not so serious, also contribute to the body, but the last letter is its seal, the seal it stands on. And pay attention to Nikesh. The noon means downfall. That's why Samek comes after it. Support after downfall. So the primary contributor to this entity which told Eve, you most surely will not die. Nikesh, Noon, Chet, and Shin. Noon, downfall. Chet, to be yoked to downfall. And Shin, not on the good side of the tree of life, but all the way over to the extreme left. Chaos. Downfall yoked to chaos. Its value, Noon, 50. Chet, 8. Shin, 300, 358. Words of the same value are linked together, are one alike, or might be in the same continuum. So if you find another word of the same value, 358, call that one, for the deceiver, negative 358, if you will. Find another name. We know of another name. What is the opposite of deceiver? What is the opposite of the serpent? Well, the Savior is. Messiah. This is the Savior. Mem, primary energy contributor, wisdom. Sheen, not just any sheen, but the sheen with the three kings on top, representing the three emanations that are above on the tree of life. That's why the those that has 3 Uds on it. Yud, divine emanation before it enters the vessel of man, becomes a Vav when it comes down into the vessel of man. It's written a little bit higher. Yud. And Ket to be yoked to that. The value is 40 for the Mem. Shin 300. Yud 10. And Chet 8. 358. We call that positive. Let me tell you, this is a very dynamic language. And these things are never been published like this. You can see what's behind each one of those emanations. And I aim to make this happen. And I need your assistance through the GoFundMe. If you can, I'm trying to publish on the cheap for free. I just need some means to do that and means to finish some of my research. Thank you.